I'm always so tired. Hey guys, it's Stanley yet again. Today I'm gonna bring you something different from me to you. Happy birthday. I'm going to be telling you a scary story to tell in the dark, but it's not scary in the sense that something very frightening happens. It's more like something unsettling and something that shouldn't happen happened. It's also a true story. It's a story from my high school days. I think my nose is a little stuffy. This is less of a scary story and more of a creepy story, in the sense that you kinda listen to it and go like, oh no, that's not okay. These things shouldn't happen. How is this allowed? So brace yourselves as I tell you the story of how my classmate got pregnant from my teacher. Ooh. So this isn't a clickbait title. This actually happened in my high school. It's not a very long story. It's kind of straightforward. But when I was a teenager, I went to an art school, an art high school. It specialized in fine arts. And our art teachers are kind of eccentric, sometimes kind of weird, a lot of times kind of unreasonable. There was one particular teacher who people didn't like very much. He was a painting teacher. We'll call him Mr. Creepy. I feel like that's a fitting name. So Mr. Creepy taught painting, taught us about color theory as much as he could. He was a very strange man. He also had a daughter who studied at the same high school. She was a grade or two older than us. So this guy was very strange. There was one Halloween where I went to school dressed up as a vampire, and he was basically kind of turned off by that. So some people were talking in class and misbehaving, and he blamed me for it, even though I had nothing to do with it. So he said to me, "Go take a walk until you've calmed down." To which I went out, took a moment to compose myself from his bullshit, and came back in to class reluctantly, because I can't take stupidity like that very well. That was so dumb. He had a one-time prejudice against me just for not wearing conventional clothing to school, and I feel like that says a lot about a person. So that's one of my personal beefs with him. I had a friend in high school as well who basically, he's good at painting. He is very abstract about it, however. He likes doing whatever he wants to do. So this teacher kind of hated him for it, and he took all of his frustrations on him. But my friend is a Libra, so he didn't really care about it so much. So nobody liked this teacher because he was basically an ass. He was quote-unquote too sensitive, but not in the internet way. More like people weren't doing things to spite him. They were just being themselves, and he got mad at them for it and upset and took it as a personal attack, even though it was never meant to be that. It was kind of childish. He was a childish person. So it made sense that after I graduated, I found out that one of my female classmates had gotten pregnant by him. Let me remind you that this guy had a daughter who was a class older than us, a class or two older than us. So this person, this grown man, this old man, impregnated a girl who was younger than his daughter. I screamed. Like, more about my classmate. I remember a lot of things going on with her. Like, she was the strangest classmate I have ever had or ever met, and everyone was very creeped out by her as well. Basically, when you meet her, you see the most innocent, kind, gentle Christian girl you've ever seen. She radiated innocence, and she was basically the last person you'd expect to do something or to get involved in something like this with a teacher. But at the same time, as I basically knew her better and better, more and more as I got to know her, I heard that this wasn't the first time this has happened. Like, she hadn't gotten pregnant before, but she had dated men who were a lot older than her when she was just a minor. First of all, as I said in my last video, there is a culture of that in my country and I hate it. It's terrible. It's happening and I have no idea why no law enforcement do something about it. It's just seen as kind of perverse, but nobody does anything about it. It's very bad. So like, me and a couple of friends have went to an apartment. She was like a friend of hers, quote unquote, used it as a painting studio, and we painted there basically. And later on I found out that that studio actually belonged to her then boyfriend, who was 48 years old, I'm pretty sure. And she was, I don't remember if she was 18 or younger. Like, age gap relationships are cool and all, but that's a little bit much. Like, what in common would they have except the fact that she's young and pretty and very impressionable and easy to manipulate? Like, that's kind of been romanticized, that relationship between a younger girl and a very older man. Like, there's this poet called Peju Javorov in Bulgarian culture, and he basically writes about his affair with a very young 16-year-old girl. And it's basically all romanticized, and it's viewed as something that's not that bad. I don't feel like people are talking about the implications of all of this. The amount of emotional maturity you have to lack to get yourself in a relationship of that sort. Like, I guess she could be mature for her age, but at the same time, she's 16. How mature can she be? Like, odds are either you're trying to manipulate her, or you're about as emotionally mature as she is. And that's kind of my opinion on the whole relationship with my teacher and my classmate. He didn't seem emotionally mature, and that's why I think he got into a relationship with such a young girl. That's my assessment and my conclusion to the situation. It might not be it, but at the same time, I don't think he had the brain power to manipulate her. Like, I'm not saying that there wasn't a power imbalance there, since he is the teacher. I'm just saying that I don't think he's smart enough to actually take advantage of her in that way. Or if he does, or if he did, I don't think that it's intentional. I think he justifies it a lot. Like, I don't think it's very illegal because he got her pregnant after we graduated and she was 19. she was over the age of consent, but I'm pretty sure that they had a relationship before she graduated, when he was still her teacher. And that's very illegal. That shouldn't be happening, but it did happen. Like, even if you're not a minor, even if you're 18 or older, because I'm not sure when that started, but I'm pretty sure that the flirting started when she was still 17. There were signs, we have seen them kind of be all lovey-dovey with each other, which was very strange to see. An elderly teacher and a young girl talking lovingly to each other, kind of, but at the same time trying to hide it, but at the same time we weren't fooled. But I never thought it would get to this point where she would actually bear his child. Like, I think she had a second child from him after that one. And the feedback from her parents is interesting, because what I've heard is that when she told her parents about her being pregnant, she described it as, well, mom was happy, dad not so much. It's like, people joke about this, but to me that's kind of a serious issue. It's kind of a serious offense, if you ask me. Like, I'm not giving any names or stuff about it, because I can't do anything about it and I can't prove that this actually occurred the way it did, and it's not my place. I think they got married actually and they're together, but I don't know what's happened. I should check up on what's happening with her. Well, what I see from her Instagram is actually kind of cute, because she's with her baby and with her niece at times. She has a niece, and it seems all very cute and fine and all, but when you think about the implications and what actually transpired, it's kind of but at the same time, I don't know, I'm torn. I feel like it's wrong to judge people, but at the same time, this is not I don't think that's a healthy relationship to start. I guess you could say that there are always exceptions, and I don't really know a lot about their relationship, but judging from what I know about the teacher himself, Mr. Creepy, he's I don't know. I'm skeptical. I'm going to be skeptical. Also, it's suspicious that he's not in any of the Instagram pictures that I've seen. I think before that there were pictures with him, but I'm not sure. Also, fun fact, a friend, another male classmate of mine tried to date this girl, and I feel like she had no idea that he was trying to date her. Like, it was all very odd. And later, when he found out what had transpired, oh god. This is beyond wacky high school stories. This is something else. I have some stories from high school that I can kind of get into, but this is the chilling story of how I was shocked, baffled, and horrified to find out that a female classmate of mine, one that I did not expect this from, had gotten pregnant from our painting teacher, who nobody liked because he was kind of an ass. Like, I don't know what this is. It's a comedy, it's a horror story, and weirdly enough, a love story. An unconventional love story. Like, I don't know how to feel about it. In a strange sort of way, this story kind of mirrors our reality. at the moment. 2020 as a whole is kind of a manifestation of this story. We have a very weird position where it's like a weird gray area of a year, but at the same time everything is ramped up to an extreme. Like everyone is going wild, everyone is like taking a firm stance on something. Like there's people who get fired up, like really fired up about social issues and things like that, but also at the same time there's like the opposition, and there's like the gray area is somewhere there, but like we can't really find it. And that's how I feel with this story. Like, where is the gray area? Where is there like a positive thing to this, or is it all negative? Is there a resolution? Is that something that would things have been worse if this relationship hadn't happened? Like, would this girl be in a worse place? Like, she wouldn't have, like, in her perspective, probably if she hadn't done this, she wouldn't have her children. And as a mother, she'd probably not have changed events if she could, because I feel like she really does love her children, even though I have no idea what's happening between her and the Mr. Creepy. But like, in a weird way, things are as they should be, even though something very illegal and kind of not okay transpired. Like, things turned out fine. This girl is also an artist, and she's doing exhibitions, so she's not in a bad place. She loves her children. Her child, actually. I think it's only one child. But she seems like she's in a good place. But again, I don't know. So it's odd. Like 2020, I'm not sure what to think about it, because in 2020, yes, a global pandemic happened. But at the same time, I had a lot of time to kind of do stuff and be productive, be reflective of myself. And I wouldn't be where I was if I didn't have that free time. So in a way, there's like a good outcome and a bad outcome. So it's a stupid comparison to make, actually. But I do try kind of to see the correlation between things that have no correlation. Now, I feel like I've gotten to the point of the video where I started rambling. So I hope you enjoyed this story, which I'm not sure how to feel about. I'm a little bit horrified of it, actually. Personally, I don't think it was okay, but at the same time, I'm glad that things seem to have turned out fine. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like this video, follow me on social media. I have a Ko-fi account, DeviantArt account, where I do commissions, so if you want, you can commission me. I do the art, so if you'd like some of the art, you can commission me and I can do some art for you. Also, I have a Redbubble shop and Society 6 shop. And in my Society 6 shop, I plan to make even more merch for my Superhuman webcomic. So yeah, follow me. Also read my comic on Tapas. It's down there in the description below. Okay, bye!